Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to show you my rack switcher that I invented and came up with. And as far as I know, to my knowledge, there's no product like this on the market at the moment. And what it is it's a rack switcher, so it it just toggles between all of the rack units in here that are run into the power amp of this amplifier up here. So I've got 8 channels, I guess, eight units that I want to switch between. And there's some other stuff that I wanted to do as well, such as, you know, I used to play on Lower Broadway in Nashville, and you know, you see these guys come in with their Line 6 Helixes and all their big pedal boards and stuff, and those are great and everything, but it's kind of annoying having to tap dance on them and, you know, try to get all your sounds. So what mine does that's a little bit different than all these other products out there, and different from just like a regular, you know, MIDI switcher, is the fact that it has some built-in automation to the button presses. So let's go ahead and take a look at the board, and I'll kind of give you a rundown of what it is and what it does and what's different about it. Okay, so what are we looking at? This just looks like a homemade pedal board that someone made in the garage, which is not entirely untrue. So most pedal boards, in fact, all of them as far as I know, work like on this principle here. You're just flipping from channel to channel to channel to channel to channel. So pretty straightforward. Everyone knows how that works. Now what this one does is it does things a little bit different. Any of these buttons, except these top two, I'll go over them in a minute. Top right two, I should say. Any of these buttons can be set as a default channel. So we'll go ahead and take our clean channel right here. So that's just our Fender Showman preamp. And you just hold your foot down for half a second to set it as the default channel. And now for as long as you hold your foot down on any of these other channels, it will become active. And then when you take your foot off, it will revert back to the original channel that you had it set to. So here's our Fender. And we'll go to the Marshall here. So see, it goes back to the original channel automatically. And that, of course, works for any of these channels. So set the Marshall there. Go to the Mesa. Back to the Marshall. So, you know, I came up with this idea because I used to play in downtown Nashville, and, you know, like I said, all these people would be running around with their pedal boards and having to tap dance to get through all their settings. So, like, for example, you know, if you're playing a song and you've got 3 tones that you want to hit, you know, let's say it starts off clean, then you've got to go to your drive setting for, say, you know, a verse. So you got to go over here now. And then maybe back in the, I don't know, in the chorus or pre-chorus, you got to go back to your clean channel. Then maybe for the lead section or solo section, you got to go here to a, and you got to go back to your clean channel. So that's a lot of button pressing. That's, you know, it's here to here, back to here, and back to here. Versus, you know, so that's kind of what I wanted to solve with this, is all that tap dancing. I mean, you've reverted all this button pressing to basically in half. And also with these relays, it makes it really, really fast. So it's responsive. There's very little popping, so it seems like it's good for studio use. I mean, you heard in the beginning video, that whole thing was done with this pedal board with no overdubs or anything, and there was no popping or gaps or anything. You know, like for instance, with the Mesa preamps, I'll go here, and over here, this pedal board controls all the channels on the Mesa tri-axis. So, you know, for example, this is like the scoop setting. There's like, there's gaps in here, and it kind of has like a ramping effect that happens. There's like a volume swell effect to it. So this is pretty instantaneous and it's pretty responsive. Like I said, I've been using it for years. I've kind of just been sitting on it, kind of testing it. Like it's played plenty of gigs and it works great. I don't use it so much for studio use, but I'm sure there's people who, you know, for people who like to maybe do live sessions, you know, where you're all in the room at the same time, something like this might be more effective than having to tap dance around. So it kind of minimizes your error. If you're having to tap dance around, you might miss a button press or something. So this kind of fixes a lot of that, and I think that the user experience is kind of intuitive, because not only can you set this as a default channel, if you just do a quick tap to the other ones, to the other channels, you can just operate it like a regular pedal board if you so choose. So, and these two buttons up here are just effects. I had this hooked up as a direct rig, and I had some effects that I was using, some post effects that were like chorus and flange, and so those are just like on all the time with the channels. It's just you can operate them independently of the other channels. So as you see, they're on, and then they'll be on for all the channels, and I can do that. I can have so, but then that's basically what that does. So anyway, just wanted to smack the camera there. Just wanted to show that, and something like this kind of switching technology in like a Line 6 Helix, for example, would be incredible, because those things have so many buttons and so many banks, and if you were having to do like half the amount of button presses on them, it would be a lot more enjoyable to use, and I think a lot more creative of a piece of gear. That would be a lot more creative tool, because you kind of want to be able to switch between this instead of it being an arduous process of like, oh, I got to go here to here to here. And it becomes natural. I've had this thing for years and I know how to use it. I can imagine there would be a little bit of a learning curve if you're playing through a song and you need to remember, okay, I've got to hold my foot down to hit this patch and then just let off to go back. Someone could argue that, oh, well, it tethers you to the pedal board. Well, you would say that you're just as tethered to the pedal board if you're having to do all this tap dancing. It's less footwork, so you can focus more on playing and sounding good than hitting your button switches, which I can't imagine anyone really likes to do that. So anyway, that's the video. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.